Why did Jimin suddenly mention Jungkook's surname? Is this just a joke, or is there a dark secret behind it? Don't miss any details that will blow your mind. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe to keep getting the latest news and in-depth analysis about the world of entertainment. 20 minutes ago, the atmosphere in the press conference room suddenly changed drastically when Jimin, one of the BTS members who has been known to be very secretive about his personal life, uttered a sentence that left everyone present speechless. In an instant, the microphone that had originally caught the cheering of the media crew and the twinkling camera lights stopped, as if choked by Jimin's words that swooped down to a sensitive point. Jungkook's surname. Who would have thought? In a light discourse match that initially only aimed to promote Jimin's new solo project, the last sentence he uttered actually created a rumble of questions in the minds of news reporters, fans, and even fellow BTS members. What is it about Jeon's family that you need to know? Jimin asked, without being direct, while looking straight at the camera. This question not only rang in the minds of those present at the press conference, but also exploded on the timelines of Twitter, Instagram, and the fan community. Even though less than an hour has passed since the event, millions of comments and speculations are already soaring. Is this a form of Jimin's protest against the management policy that has been pressuring Jungkook? Or maybe a secret code that only certain people in BTS's inner circle understand? Since the beginning, Jimin is known as a very protective figure towards the privacy of fellow members, especially Jungkook, who is often in the media spotlight. However, the sudden act of mentioning Jungkook's surname in public is something out of the ordinary. Imagine, in a moment that should be filled with the introduction of new works, now the existence of Jeon's family background overshadows all discussions. Why wait until the official press conference to announce this? Wouldn't it be common for this kind of friction to be talked about internally, among management and agencies, away from the camera screen? But here, Jimin chose a grandiose stage with hundreds of spotlights and dozens of microphones recording every word. Sources close to BTS' inner circle, who asked not to be identified, said tensions had been running high for weeks before the incident. Jimin looks more moody since the last few days. He was several times present in the rehearsal studio with a pale face and did not greet anyone, said one of the assistant stylists who happened to attend the activity. Another eyewitness, a show crew member, added that during the preparations for the stage, Jimin was seen talking to Jungkook in an unusual tone. I heard words like, "You have to account for that," and "family name can't be taken lightly," before they were separated by an agency security staff, the crew said, signaling there was friction involving the topic of Jeon's family that was completely unpublished before. All of these clues ultimately lead us to one common thread. There is something that the agency and the members are hiding until Jimin decides to reveal it to the public himself. Of course, the full answer can only be obtained directly from the mouths of Jimin and Jungkook. However, listening to the rumors circulating, we seem to be invited to dive into the secret labyrinth behind the sparkling stage and camera highlights. In the entertainment world of South Korea, surnames are often a symbol of strength, heritage, and connection. Call it the Kim, Park, or Lee family that has been very attached to a certain reputation and social status. Although Jeon is not one of the richest clan names in the land of ginseng, the Jeon family is believed to have a long history in the realm of traditional Korean art. Many say that Jungkook's ancestor was a famous jising artist in the Joseon dynasty, a reputation that is elegant but at the same time full of taboos when juxtaposed with the image of a modern idol. For the members of BTS, who were born and raised in the modern era where family origins are rarely the main topic, this information can have a tremendous impact. We all know how the Korean entertainment industry pays great attention to cultural values and family history. If there really is a connection between the Jeon family and the discourse of the jising tradition, then social stigma can arise in the minds of some conservative societies, seeing idols who carry such backgrounds. Why did Jim bring up this topic? Shouldn't Jungkook himself dare to reveal it if he is comfortable with that fact? Some observers began to speculate that there was internal pressure, either from agencies or third parties, to keep the truth hidden. Jimin, who has always been known to be very loyal and caring towards Jungkook, may feel that it is time to reveal the facts so that the public understands the electability and significance of Jeon's surname, that in the eyes of the fans, the mention of Jeon's surname by Jimin is a form of protection. Look at Jungkook's background honestly, not just the idol persona you see on stage. This then sparked a mixed reaction. Most fans praised Jimin's bravery, while others questioned the motives behind this revelation. Is this a clever marketing strategy, or is it the outpouring of the heart of a friend who can't stand to see his roommate treated unfairly? It didn't take long for Twitter to explode. Like Jungkook family name, Jimin exposed, and truth behind Jeon trending became the main title in the timeline. Thousands of comments poured in, from those questioning the accuracy of Jimin's statements to those accusing the agency of covering up the facts all along. Someone wrote, "Why now? Haven't all the BTS members been famous for years?" While another added, "This could be what will change the public perception of Jungkook forever." On the other hand, fan forums like Weverse are filled with discussions around, how do I respond to this? And do we have to stop album donations until there is official clarification? The warm atmosphere turns to smoldering heat, giving rise to polarization between fans. Those who faithfully supported the Jungkook-Jimin duo began to try to calm each other down, considering how close their friendship was. However, the one-sentence controversy by Jimin managed to create a chasm between the Shade Room kings and ARMY loyalists who were willing to defend anyone from the BTS family. It was even rumored that HYB, the agency behind BTS, was considering an emergency press conference to apologize for the confusion. Meanwhile, several K-pop influencers on YouTube have been collecting data on old footage, from radio interviews, backstage makeup video snippets, to Jungkook's old social media posts, all reanalyzed for clues that Jeon's surname has actually appeared in public, even if only at first glance. But until now, there is no unequivocal evidence that could confirm these rumors. To understand the impact of Jimin's statement, we need to look back at the chronology of Jungkook and his family's relationship. Since his debut in 2013, Jungkook has been known as the Golden Magne, who has everything: a golden voice, perfect dancing, and a dazzling face. But tucked among all the praise, little is known about his family dynamics. Various old interviews once mentioned that Jungkook was an only child, raised in Busan by parents who were very supportive of his career. However, since the emergence of the issue of Jeon's surname, many have investigated whether such statements are deliberately made to divert attention from the fact that there is more than one party in her family. Some analysts of Korean customs and culture have suggested that the Jeon family has an unlikely relationship with the Confederation of Traditional Entertainment Industries, where Jungkook's great-grandfather was once the leader of one of the traditional dancing societies, a profession that used to be overlooked by the public, but is now a matter of pride for culture lovers. If this news is true, then Jimin's statement is meant to shine a light on another side of Jungkook that has never been revealed to the public, an heir to traditional art in conflict with his modern image as an idol. However, there are those who consider that this is a purely personal matter. Reportedly, Jungkook's family had begged HYB for their background identities not to be revealed in order to maintain BTS's brand image, which has been carefully built. Allegations spread that on one occasion, Jungkook's distant brother once tried to publish a memoir about his childhood experiences, and it was strongly opposed by management. Now that Jimin has publicly mentioned Jeon's surname, the agency is allegedly in a quandary between protecting the artist's privacy and meeting Jimin's demands for transparency. Indeed, many fans felt torn between two choices: supporting Jimin's bold-looking decision to open the veil, or urging Jungkook to resolve family matters privately so that BTS's image would not be tarnished. Some observers think this is a dramatic example of how fragile the balance between an idol's brilliant career and the responsibilities placed on his family can be. That moment at the press conference, when Jimin closed his statement with, "From now on, Jeon's surname is no longer something that can be hidden," became a memorable turning point. The atmosphere changed from boisterous to silent for a moment. The camera lights that kept flashing, the lenses that highlighted Jimin and Jungkook's faces, all stopped for a few seconds. It was as if the world winked in unison and asked, "What does all this mean?" Even Jungkook's reaction was caught on camera. His normally bright eyes glistened damp, his lips quivered slightly, but he still tried to smile politely despite the obvious weight pressing on his chest. His eyelids trembled, as if holding back such a strong emotional outburst. A second later, he closed his lips and averted his eyes, a sign that he was not ready to discuss Jeon's surname further. The presence of other BTS members on stage also played an important role. V, RM, J-Hope, Suga, and Jean sat on chairs arranged on the sides of the stage. At first they seemed calm, but after Jimin mentioned Jeon's surname, one by one they looked at each other with worried looks. V, known as Jungkook's best friend since his trainee days, displayed a confused and angry expression. RM, who has always been the spokesman for the group, looks to take a deep breath, as if weighing between saying something or staying silent. Suga and J-Hope also lowered their heads, while Jean turned his face to the side, as if looking for answers in the public's worried look. All that confirms one thing. Jimin's statement is not just a release of empty words. Unless the decisive moments that will carve a new history in the course of BTS. Is this the beginning of a new chapter where idols are more open about their family roots? Or will it be an old wound that comes to the surface and tests the resilience of the relationship between members and fans? Agency reactions and expected official statements. The HYBE officials had held a closed-door meeting until late at night. It is rumored that the CEO and management team are devising a strategy to calm the situation. Some of the agency's media relations functions are reportedly preparing an official statement that will address any public anxiety. However, at the moment there is no confirmation of when exactly the agency will provide clarification. Another source, who declined to be named, said, "The management is aware that Jimin's statement could have a long-term impact on both Jungkook personally and BTS's reputation as a group. They are considering two options. Either to let Jungkook tell the true story of his family in order to remove the stigma, or to try to silence the issue by insisting that all is just a misunderstanding." However, for fans, waiting for an official statement feels like torture. Many of them are planning to petition Jungkook to appear on a famous variety show and speak directly about this. Others raised funds to pay for advertisements on digital billboards in the Myeongdong area, asking Jungkook to speak honestly and affirm his love for fans without caring about stigma. This kind of phenomenon is not new in the K-pop industry, but the context this time feels more sensitive because it involves the nuclear family of a big idol. If we look at other bands that have been involved in family scandals, such as when a certain artist's mother is proven to be involved in a legal case, or a public figure's father emerges as a mafia kingpin, the K-pop public has always viewed family origins as taboo for mass consumption. But now, Jimin actually provokes the public to look further into the Jeon family labyrinth, which has been closed. Short and long-term impact in the short term. This furor will clearly affect Jimin's solo promotion, which has just begun. Songs that were supposed to focus on themes of love and dreams are suddenly mixed with the Jeon family narrative, making it difficult for new and old fans to separate artwork from real-life drama. Some radio stations even reportedly delayed playing Jimin's latest single for fear of getting a negative spotlight. Meanwhile, the entertainment television station several times postponed the schedule of exclusive interviews because it wanted to wait for the results of clarification from the agency. For Jungkook himself, the pressure he felt was certainly not light. He is now faced with two difficult choices: open a new page by honestly explaining his family background, or close the meeting at the risk of losing the sympathy of some fans who feel cheated. Statistics show that when a K-pop idol reveals his personal side, fan engagement does increase dramatically. This can be seen from the surge in comments on social media and the increase in the number of streams. However, there is a price to pay. The level of haters is also soaring, trying to find loopholes to attack the image of the idol. On the other hand, if Jungkook chooses to remain silent, then his image could potentially be considered non-transparent. Fans of the new generation of K-pop demand more honesty than just a perfect stage performance. Many argue that today's idols should be open and authentic role models. When there is something to hide, the fandom ecosystem can become unstable and create a divide between hardcore fans and casual fans in the long term. This issue is likely to become a case study for the K-pop industry. Stubborn agencies that have relied on artist privacy protections may need to reevaluate their strategies. Is it worth continuing to cover family roots when in the digital age, every voice can be heard by millions of people in a matter of seconds? Or is it a momentum to revolutionize the old